This week, it's a special edition of Enterprise Security Weekly. Basically going to wish everyone happy holidays. And then, rather than recap the year or make predictions for next year, John Strand's going to do a technical segment on installing Ubuntu inside of Windows. All that and more, so stay tuned to this edition of Enterprise Security Weekly. This is a Security Weekly production.
Brought to you by IT Pro TV is an easy, entertaining approach to online IT training. Access over 2,000 hours of up-to-date, high-quality video content live and on demand via your Chromecast, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, PC, mobile device, or their recently launched Apple TV app. Corporate and group pricing are available, and now through December 31st, if you purchase a premium annual membership, you'll get an additional 3 months on your first year. Visit itpro.tv/enterprise security and use the code ES30 for a free 7-day trial and 30% off for life. Logarithm's Netmon Freemium delivers real-time network visibility to quickly identify emerging threats in your IT environment. Netmon Freemium is a free commercial-grade network forensics and traffic analytics solution. You can use Netmon Freemium's powerful capabilities to search against all of observed network traffic, identify abnormal traffic patterns in application usage, and quickly analyze full packet captures. Take the first step towards real-time network visibility. Visit logarithm.com/freemium to learn more and download it today.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Enterprise Security Weekly. I'm your host, Paul Asadorian, broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island. I want to thank our sponsors, all of our sponsors for this show, including Logarithm and IT Pro TV, who has an awesome selection of courses. We're actually just looking through some of their courseware. It's fantastic. They're constantly updating it. Visit itpro.tv for more information and pay attention to the discount codes that run during this show and subscribe. If you're an IT professional in security or not, there is no reason why you shouldn't have a subscription to IT Pro. Now, I hate recapping the year, which I just think it's terrible. I also hate making predictions because I think they're ridiculous, although we've probably made them in the past. But that doesn't stop me from thinking that they are completely ridiculous. So rather than do that, because essentially there's not much in the way of news of enterprise security companies. No one's making product announcements, integration announcements this week because it's the week before the holiday season. We're going to take next week off. What I do have for you, which you saw a little bit of in the beginning of the show, was we do have John Strand, who did a technical segment from his car. Now, he wasn't driving and doing the technical segment because that's not advisable for any stretch of the imagination. However, someone else was driving, John was in the passenger seat, and recorded a technical segment on how to install Ubuntu inside of Windows. Because, I mean, if there's anything that's going to make Windows better, it's Linux. I'm not sure that Windows makes Linux any better, but Linux definitely makes Windows better, in my opinion. So here is John Strand in our kind of holiday gift to you, doing a technical segment, and that's how we'll close out the year. We'll see everyone in 2017. Enjoy.
Welcome to a video tech segment. My name is John Strand. You may remember me as a regular contributor to Security Weekly a long time ago. Well, lately, Paul's been twisting my arm and threatening to steal my children Rumpelstiltskin style if I don't actually come on and do some video tech segments for Security Weekly. That's probably somewhat justified. And I'm doing this video tech segment from my car. Now, why exactly am I doing it from my car? Because I've been on travel. I travel quite a bit, as a lot of you know. In fact, I just came from the Farm Credit IT Symposium in Orlando, and I'm getting ready to fly off to Sans CDI in sunny Washington, D.C. It's not sunny. It's not warm. It's going to be very Christmassy. All right, so this video tech segment, I want to go over something that's been very interesting to me over the past few days, actually. I've been completely enamored with Ubuntu Bash on Windows 10. Now, a lot of people will say, how is this fundamentally any different at all than just running Cygwin? Because I could just run Cygwin. Well, it's not Cygwin. There's a lot more to it. It is a pretty darn complete Linux distribution, Ubuntu, running on Windows. Think of them as, it's almost like virtualization. And yes, I understand you can run VMware. Yes, I get all of that. But look, I'm going to get to why this is important here in just a little bit. But there are tons and tons and tons of articles online on how to enable this. But it's pretty easy. You just basically go use developers features, enable developer mode. Then you're going to add remove components features for Windows, and you're going to select the Windows subsystem for Linux. It is beta. It is very much beta, but it's actually pretty full-featured. For example, let me open it up here real quick. So Bash Ubuntu on Windows. It has all the standard commands that you would expect to work. You got EI and install scripts. It works like standard Linux. In fact, I almost got all of Google's rapid response server set up and running. apt works. I did apt-get install Apache too. But I'll become root real quick. So there we have it. Let me zoom in so you guys can see it. New service, Apache 2 start. So go ahead and fire that up. Starts up the web server. Gives a few errors, but that's what Apache kind of does. And now I can surf to 127.0.0.1. 127.0.0.1. Go like that. And there you go. Apache Ubuntu default page is fired up and ready to rock. I could do Python -m simple HTTP server, and it runs, and now I've got a little Python web server running on port 88,000. There we go. There, it's working just fine. I even did apt-get install BSD games, so I can do user, games, Trek, and now I've got the old school Star Trek game running on it. I don't know if you guys remember this from years back, but okay, so to be honest with you, I still play it quite a bit. So talk to your computer. There you go, computer. I thought it was computer. But yeah, I play this a lot, and I was mistyping computer. But at any rate, I'm not going to get sidetracked on track. The point is, you can do apt-get install a lot of crap. I wouldn't want to run anything production on it right now at all, just because it is still very much beta. I've ran into a couple of problems where I've actually broken apt, and its ability to actually work is now somewhat broken, and I don't quite know why it's broken, but whatever. So with this in mind, a couple of quick things to kind of keep in mind. One, it is beta. Number two, there are some key commands that are very, very important that aren't working. Like, for example, I'll give you some of them that aren't working. And I know there's going to be haters. They're going to be like, well, if it doesn't work, I don't want to touch it. We shouldn't look at it that way. For example, ifconfig is not working. So it just kind of hangs and throws errors. If I try to go sudo ifconfig, it says can't open it. And TCP dump. TCP dump will actually read files, but if you actually do TCP dump and you try to listen on an interface, it just doesn't work either. So I've reinstalled it a couple of times. Now, the reason why is all of the programs that are built into Linux that use sockets work. So anytime you make like you're trying to make a socket connect to, like with Netcat, like I can create a Netcat listener. Netcat's going to make a direct socket connection, and it's going to listen on a port, and I can make direct socket connections and all of those things, and that's fine. But Nmap does raw socket access. It actually bypasses the TCP connect function completely, makes its own raw socket access. Now, those things are broken as of right now. However, if you're in the early release edition of Microsoft Windows, it actually works. This is what a bunch of people are saying, is that it does in fact work. There are still some tools like TCP dump and Nmap that are still coming around, but they're working on it right now. But it's also a little bit confusing. If you go to GitHub and you have an issue, they tell you to go to another website. If you go to that website, they tell you to go back to GitHub. It's kind of weird. So like this UP dev user voice forums, you go there and that's where you're supposed to upvote the different things that you want to have fixed. The networking configuration has 1,381 votes, but there's places here for developer feedback where they say go back to GitHub and let them know. So it's a little bit confusing. As I said, it is very much beta, but it is so cool, guys. Now, why is this so incredibly awesome? I can give you a Solfix's example. Teaching Sans 504. I have a Windows VM that's coming out here in the next release, and I also have a Linux VM. Now with this, I can combine all of the tools onto one platform. If you're a penetration tester, you no longer need to use a Windows VM, a Linux VM, and Mac. You can now unify them on a standard platform. Granted, that platform is Windows, and I know there's a lot of people that don't like that. I just came from the cult of fanboys at Mac, and I'm now back to using Windows and Linux more or less natively, just because I hate Apple now with like Power of a Thousand Suns. But that's a long conversation. It's unrelated. But being able to start unifying your different applications on a standardized platform is very, very cool. I know there's people that are going to mention virtualization and Cygwin and those things, and those are all valid points. Those are great. But this allows us to bring a full suite of Linux tools, not just Cygwin, but full Linux tools to our Windows computer systems. There are some weird quinky dinks. Number one, the two things don't see each other. Windows doesn't see Bash real well. Bash doesn't see Windows at all except for the file system. And that creates some interesting opportunities for penetration testing. Right now, Bo is doing some research on how to enable it from the command line. It still requires a reboot. But think about the backdoor possibilities for pen testing. Think about the backdoor possibilities for defense. Think about the possibilities of having full-featured sed and awk and grep and all of the different utilities that we use all the time on Linux now sitting on our Windows computer systems. This is great. The joke is, Windows' new killer feature is that you can now run Linux. And yeah, that's kind of a true joke. But we have to install it. We have to complain if we want certain things to work, because this is neat. This is really cool. And it's also not going to get better unless we actually start using it. So go ahead and install it, start playing it, install stupid things on it. If you want to run X applications, you're going to have to run an X server on your Windows computer system, and you're going to have to export the display whenever you run your X applications. It's very similar to what you would have to do with a headless display over an SSH tunnel, or you can use SSH minus capital X. By the way, did you guys notice that Windows kind of snuck in an SSH server recently? You probably have a service on your Windows 10 systems, Windows 10 Professional, SSH proxy service. And you can SSH into your Windows box as your Windows user. That is not the Linux subsystem. You'll set up two different passwords. So go ahead and try this out. It is absolutely awesome. We're going to be seeing more of this as we progress. And thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. And now I get to keep my children, which actually, why is that a good idea?